Applications. A blockchain, Bitcoin sounds wonderful, but what about specific applications in specific industries? Well, Bitcoin or blockchain is first and foremost a form of digital payment system. So immediate cash transfer across networks, across borders and boundaries is the first and most obvious application of Bitcoin or blockchain technology. After digital payments, the next biggest obvious application is in financial services. Financial services are companies like real estate or securities firms which buy and sell assets. So different firms represent buyers and sellers and transact securities. And they each keep, right now, their own internal records, one database of the different kinds of transactions, and they have to clear these transactions with other firms. But the future could be having one unified industry ledger, one database where all of the securities are logged, and therefore securities could be transferred instantaneously, not in the current market of T+1 or T+7, several days to transfer and settle securities. This could reduce the cost and the risk of holding securities over time as they clear in a buy and sell transaction. So unified ledger systems are a very large application of blockchain in the financial services industry that several companies are involved in implementing in different large financial markets in the world. This could be very important as there are numerous steps in the value chain of buying and selling a security in regard to custody, insurance, titling, payment transfer. There are numerous steps, and all of that transaction fee could be effectively squeezed to something close to zero if the transactions were to occur on a blockchain. This starts to get at the bigger idea of using blockchains as a digital registry for all kinds of assets. So this could include auto titles, home and land titles, building, securities. Any kind of assets that we have in the world could be logged and registered to blockchains and then transferred this way. And that could be instantaneous and also over time with smart contracts. So the farther future, one of the reasons that blockchain is so revolutionary for economics is that every form of asset could be registered digitally on a blockchain. Another thing that this could include is different kinds of identity documents like a passport or a visa or a marriage license or a work permit, different kinds of accreditation like diplomas or certifications in regard to work skills, professional skills, and education. So we could have giant logs of everything online. Another important application of this would be in the medical industry. For example, a registry of all controlled substances of drugs, and that are controlled and transferred and validated via blockchains. So there's digital payments, then financial services, and then the other big three industries starting to implement blockchain applications right now are supply chain and logistics, healthcare, and Internet of Things. So the supply chain and logistics industry is another obvious place for blockchain kinds of applications because shipments transfer across borders, and we often need to know the status of shipments and also their provenance. What is the origin of the goods? Where did they come from? And have that certified and validated. And all of these very many steps in the supply chain and logistics value chain in international trade take a long time and need to be confirmed by every party along the way. So again, with these shipments booked to blockchains, the transfer could be much quicker. And this would be both at the level of all of the documentation that needs to happen as well as any kind of payment transactions. Healthcare is another important obvious place for blockchains in the sense that healthcare information is sensitive, and so it needs to be protected by a VPN kind of mechanism, which a blockchain is perfect for secure information transfer. And some of the applications for blockchains in healthcare are, first of all, health insurance billing chains. So several firms are already in this business of there'll be a registry of claims booked to insurance companies for payment. The insurance company needs to receive the claim, confirm that it's valid, and process the claim. And so this is typically a process involving different kinds of companies in the value chain. They need traditionally over some sort of EDI, electronic data interface, or VPN system, but now they can do it much more quickly with less risk on a blockchain. So health insurance billing chains is a perfect application for blockchain that involves secure data transfer, identity confirmation, validation of claims, and payment of the claims. Another healthcare application is electronic medical records, so an EMR. So for example, we could have, just like I have my digital wallet with my Bitcoin, I could have a digital health wallet that confirms my identity, my insurance plan, my payment information, and has my prescription drug and other health history on it. And so every user could have an electronic medical record that's standardized, that exists as linked on a blockchain. And anytime I want to permission a new party into my electronic medical record, I can execute a blockchain transaction to give them access to my information. And this would be a huge step forward in users controlling their own health data and having one centralized, standardized repository of the electronic medical record that could be accessed by any kind of provider worldwide. So supply chain logistics, healthcare, energy, and IoT are other big markets. So energy now is behaving like another huge global internet with, first of all, energy trading is the most obvious application for something like blockchain. It's very much like securities trading. There are ledgers and settlement and custody and payment and validation operations that have to happen, and those can all be streamlined when the parties are using a single unified ledger as opposed to everybody having their own ledger. So again, that would improve clearing times and reduce cost and risk. Other forms of energy blockchains are also being explored. For example, the ability to fungibly put newly produced energy onto networks and to load balance dynamically and conduct all of the smart grid operations that energy management functions need to do across continental operations or national operations. So there are a number of energy blockchain applications in process now too. Internet of Things is another obvious area because the blockchain technology that's relevant is the automated control of millions of items with secure communication and control, as well as remuneration possibilities. So the Internet of Things is estimated to be on the order of, a ratio of 8-to-1 of machines to humans on the internet. So huge numbers of sensor networks and arrays in smart cities, in traffic, on roads, in agricultural fields, in many different kinds of applications. And so we need some kind of secure automated technology for controlling these huge fleets of Internet of Things sensors. And so that's another obvious application of blockchain technology. Related to that is fleet management in general as a concept. So we're starting to have many kinds of fleets that need to be securely automatically controlled. So this could include self-driving vehicles, this could include drones, social robotics or industrial robotics, or any of the many kinds of, or nano robots in the body. So we're starting to have many situations of fleets of arbitrarily many items that we need to control and log all of their behavior. We want to have remuneration or payment capabilities. We need to log the behavior for legal purposes. And we also need to be sure we want a way to update the software dynamically to all of these fleets. So fleet management, blockchain is perfect mechanism for fleet management, where in our contemporary world we're starting to have many more kinds of things that require fleet management. Blockchain is a perfect software to coordinate that. So these kinds of applications are digital payments, financial services, supply chain and logistics, healthcare, energy, Internet of Things, and fleet management. And these are some of the biggest application areas for blockchain right now.